Hello, I'm Gemma Teal, a design researcher based at the Innovation School at the Glasgow School of Art, using participatory design in the context of health and well-being.
And I'm Tara French, and I'm currently Technology and Innovation Lead at Scottish Care. However, at the time of writing this paper, I was also based at the Glasgow School of Art. In this video, we will share an overview of our paper, Spaces for Participatory Design Innovation, using images from the projects described to illustrate the proposed model and conclude with questions for discussion.
We developed the model in response to a need to articulate our participatory design practice. Appropriating and combining methods in a creative response to the context requires a participatory mindset, skills, experience, and a holistic view of how each encounter builds to create meaningful participation towards the aims of the project. While existing frameworks, models, and lenses offer useful ways of structuring, reflecting on, and evaluating participatory design, we found a need for a more open and flexible model which scaffolds the design of participation across a project and enables reflection and clear articulation of complex processes. The model embodies the methodological reflections of our transdisciplinary team, which spans design, social science, and computer science disciplines. It emerged through reflection on a long-term design research programme which aimed to support innovation in health and care through participatory design. We reflected on our experience of over 30 projects across a range of challenges. The Spaces model articulates how we create the right conditions to meaningfully involve participants in health and social care innovation.
The Spaces model comprises 7 spaces that can be designed to support a range of diverse stakeholders, including end users, to engage in the design process. This slide shows a visual representation of the model, intended to communicate how the 7 spaces can be layered and combined, with consideration of the physical setting to support each space. It is non-linear. Projects can move through the spaces in order to suit the context, participants, and the concept being explored. The ordering of the spaces is not intended to suggest a sequence and is presented in a vertical orientation to indicate how different spaces can build on each other to scaffold higher levels of critical thinking among participants. Taking a spatial perspective on participation is not new, but in using the term spaces, we give the conditions for participation a tangible form in order to make complex processes easier to understand.
The model is accompanied by core values that guide our ways of working to ensure an ethical practice, including empathy, equality, trust, and safety. Another important quality relates to aesthetics, where we aim to attune the aesthetic of our materials to the specific context.
So the physical space is the foundation for all other spaces. It can include the choice of familiar spaces to create comfort, unfamiliar spaces to disrupt power dynamics, or inspiring, intimate, or open spaces, depending on the atmosphere you're trying to create. In some projects, we have created physical mock-ups of environments to test new interactions or better understand current processes in a safe way.
The contextual space is used to gain an understanding of end users, their environments, cultures, and lived experience. This involves activities such as mapping and role-play, and ethnographic methods adapted to enable participation, such as interviews, observations, and cultural probes. This space is not necessarily the starting point for projects, as learning about the present can sometimes be best achieved through intervention, enabling participants to engage with aspects of the current that are relevant to the innovation.
The collaboration space is focused on building relationships and addressing any power dynamics that could arise by bringing diverse participants together. Empathy plays a crucial role, and it also involves creating a feeling of safety, supporting the sharing of experiences, ensuring inclusivity and equity among participants, and enabling the individual voice to be heard while working towards a collective understanding. This involves careful facilitation to manage possible tensions caused by differing perspectives and turn this into productive dialogue.
The creative space involves generative activities that are intended to engage participants directly in the design process. The activities are designed to tap into latent design skills and support participants to imagine possibilities by working through ideas.
The interaction space aims to model and understand interactions between people, products, and systems. It employs methods such as Wizard of Oz and experience prototyping to observe how participants respond and change their behaviour. Participants are invited to critique these interactions as experts in the context. A sketchy, low-fidelity aesthetic helps to invite critique without the participants feeling the design is resolved. Prototypes can be iteratively refined and tested during a session, enabling participants to see and test their input in the maturing interactions.
Reaching the critical space often requires participants to move through previous spaces to enable them to meaningfully engage with new concepts and critically reflect based on their lived experience. Approaches such as critical design, storytelling, or design fiction can bring concepts to life and support participants to reflect and engage in critical thinking.
The analysis space involves interpreting the data collected to inform development by translating insights into design implications, outcomes, requirements, and tangible artifacts. It aims to ensure that the appropriate analytical techniques are used with respect to the type of data collected, and where possible, to involve participants directly in this process.
The dissemination space involves creating a range of outputs in different media to communicate and share the findings relevant to specific audiences. These outputs can include website summary reports, project reports, lay summaries, visual outputs, videos, artifacts, and engagement tools.
So, although further testing of the model is required, we propose that it offers an important contribution to the participatory design landscape to articulate practice, scaffold participation, and enable reflective practice. We suggest that this model supports the creative selection and adaptation of tools and techniques with a holistic view of how they combine to achieve project and participation goals. We have posed the following questions here that we would be keen to explore.
So thank you very much for listening. We hope you've enjoyed this presentation and we look forward to some fruitful discussion. You can find out more about our research on our website, or please do contact us at the details provided.